worth covering and talking about for a brief moment, because it
This
is
one
actually
of my and leads into one of my predictions from a couple weeks ago.
One of my predictions as well, right? So
Yeah.
from a prediction show, right? So the story that we'll cover, of course, there are a number of outlets covering this, but we'll cover the story coming out of Axios, which is Elon Musk's X gets another valuation cut from Fidelity. And I love the picture that they chose for this, which is Grandma Musk in his aviator jacket.
It's like Howard. He looks like Howard Hughes there for some reason.
He looks like somebody's. He looks like somebody's like that it's that older brother that comes back having lived in New York for a little too long, and basically just he
comes up to the little brother and ruffles the hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
but
buddy.
He needs money. He needs money because he owes the mob, right? That's
out a
what
pack
he
of
looks
Reds.
like in this picture. Yeah, exactly.
He has a lot. You got to admit, he's got a lot of range. Like every photo you see, you could say, "Oh, okay, that's a different Elon." He's got 7 or 8 of them packed away.
That's a different. It's a different version of Grandma Musk. Anyway, the article opens up by saying Fidelity has again marked down the value of its shares in X Holdings, which the mutual fund giant helped Elon Musk buy for $44 billion when the company was known as Twitter. By the numbers, Fidelity believes that X is worth 71.5% less than at the time of its purchase, according to new disclosure that runs through the end of November 23. Fidelity revalues private shares on a 1-month lag. That includes a 10.7% cut during November, during which time Musk told boycotting X advertisers to go F themselves during an onstage interview at the New York Times.
Oh, classy move. Classy move.
Always works out well when you do that.
Yeah, the sales guys love that one.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they did. In terms of publicly traded comps, Meta stock rose 4.9% in November, while Snap shares climbed 38.2%. Snap, by the way, last year had an incredible year that nobody's talking about. So,
well, I mean, if you remember back in 21, their stock went up to like 60 some bucks, and then it dropped to like 6 or 7. Well, and it's had a really good rebound since then.
Yeah, they've had a really good rebound. They had a really good year last year.
They've got a corner on messaging. I mean,
they do.
You think of them as social media, but it really is messaging.
Yeah, you talk about not your target market. It's like I never see it because, of course, I'm not on it. But the kids, that is the way they trade their snaps, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's Snap for messaging, and then you've got really TikTok and more than Instagram. Although I've heard a lot of people say they're going back to Instagram.
So, yeah, I guess
we'll see. I don't know. I'm not on any of these things. I'm not even. I can't talk at all. All I can talk about is X. That's what I'm an expert on X. That's it.
Well,
I'm an expert on X, and I never post. I never post there.
Yeah. It's an easier thing to do these days, for sure. Well,
what do you think? Here's the thing. What do you think is going to happen with?
I think this is. I think this is the where there's that moment when a dam breaks, that there's a big leak coming through, and then there's sort of like one big rock sort of goes ploop, plops out, and then all of a sudden the dam. I think this is that, because look, Fidelity's investment into X was not big. It was a very small percentage of what the other ones did in terms of investment size. I think it's $30 million or something like that. So this Fidelity's exposure here is not.
They just want to get it off the books at this point.
But they want. They finally have. Yeah, that's the key here, right? Where the others are, have been reluctant to get it off their books because it's gonna look awful. I think this is the first of many that we're going to start to see, because once that dam goes, once one of the major ones goes, it's all over. And of course, as we've talked about, this is what Musk wants. I think is he wants this to go so that he can buy it for a discount. But we'll see what happens. I mean,
that's the hope, unless somebody else buys it. But I think he wants to buy it, own full control over it.
Yeah.
As they mark it down to nothing here. And then I believe that he'll rename it back to Twitter.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah. I'm starting to feel that way. He wants to get this to rock bottom.
Yeah.
He's going to clean up. He's going to clean it up by big. Sure. And then everybody's calling. I mean, I was watching John Oliver the other day, and even John Oliver said, I won't call it X. I'm calling it Twitter. And everyone we know that still basically calls it Twitter, even though we try to use the right nomenclature and say X. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. So
that's interesting.
Maybe by the end of the year, it'll be Twitter. You'll have the advertising coming back. Everybody's starting to feel good about it.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
Where Elon will be sort of out of the picture because politics are going to play, number 1, 2, and 3 role in our attention in the United States.
I think
it's going to all come back.
Yeah, I think he's literally burning the ship at the shores.
I don't know.
I don't think that ship is coming back. Yeah,
it's interesting. I've got 2 children, as you know. Well, 2 not children anymore, 22 and 20, and they're on X. That's their channel. Discord and
really
X are their 2 channels. Discord, X, and YouTube for the podcasters that they follow. They don't.
All right.
They don't actually listen to podcasts. They watch them on YouTube.
Of course. Yeah.
And that's kind of the formula. And then I watch with the other kids their age, and they're on X a lot. That's where they get, and especially for sports. I mean, it's just like sports news.
The players and celebrities are still
they're all on X. So that's not changing. That has not changed. The most influential people in the world, for the most part, their number one go-to when they're releasing something is X from a newsworthy standpoint.
Well, I think you're still seeing a lot of that. I mean, look, you and I both felt it. I know I felt it, and I know you felt it when you deleted your account. And I don't know if you've deleted your account.
No, I just said I'm gone.
So I actually deleted my account. But I felt it. I mean, when you're you spend whatever 13 years and more, almost 15 years building up, sunk costs, basically, like, the amount of time you spent on it. And, I don't have near the following you do, but 60,000 followers. It's like, I can see a celebrity going, I can't lose this, right? I can't start over again. I get that, right? I get that. And you got to figure they're just in the background, sort of crossing their fingers that it just doesn't get any worse, because at a certain point, if he continues this, and maybe you're right, maybe he gets to a point where he breaks it down so far that it is broken, and then he buys it and starts to rehabilitate it again, and people just go, sort of wipe their brow and go, okay, he's now, at least I can sort of bite my tongue and be there. I don't know.
It reminds me, this is maybe not a good analogy, but like Rocky Balboa. Like Mickey was trying to break Rocky down. He had nothing left, he's just that metaphor. And then he said, now's the time. Or like when he starts and he starts, he goes, go right hand and then go back left. That kind of
this
thing.
Is not
It's going to be a great comeback story that I don't want to have happen because I'm not an Elon fan. But you can see the setup. Elon's smart.
You can see the setup.
He's going to own the whole thing, and he's going to make a huge turnaround, and it's going to be profitable in 25, and we're all going to be eating crow.